Hello and welcome back to the How Long to Beat podcast, a podcast made by members of the community for members of the community. We talk about games and how long to beat them. My name is Matt, and I'm with Roy.
The loudest sneezing gun in the West.
And Leah.
Hello.
I realized I strayed from the usual order there. I apologize.
No, you're mixing it up. You're throwing them a curveball.
Yeah. Gotta keep them awake.
Gotta keep them on their toes.
Yeah. Today we will be, as usual, talking about the games we've recently beaten and retired and what we are playing right now. After that, we will be moving into our discussion topic, which is going to be general gaming droughts. So we'll be talking about the times in our life where we are not stinky gamers and what we do instead, or how that might affect our freakazoid gamer brain. And as always, we will be ending with another round of Guess the Game, where the aim of the game is to guess the game. Also, as a general heads up, we're trying out a new schedule where we are going to do episodes bi-weekly now. So two a month instead of one a month. No promises whether or not that's gonna stay this way in the long run. But there you go. You know what to expect for the near future. We'll see how this works.
What a revolving stable of hosts.
Yeah.
We should also note Diallo is not going to be here or on the next podcast since he is moving. So that's why he's not here today.
Yeah.
Diallo's busy with more important things.
He's evolved beyond Stinky Gamer.
Sad. Before we delve into the ungaming stuff, the non-gaming stuff, what have we beaten recently? Who of you wants to take the torch here?
I'll start because both the games I actually beat this morning.
Wow.
Another classic episode of Froys and Roy decides to play a game before the podcast. City Connection for NES. That's the first one. This is another one of those games where technically you don't beat it. In fact, both of the games I played are like that now that I think about it. But it's like it's technically kind of an endless arcade game. NES game. Rather bizarre, especially because the story is complete NES nonsense. Where like you're a car driving thief who stole a bunch of paint, and the paint is falling out of your car, and you need to paint the entire road. I don't know. Weird. Not much to say about this. It's kind of like an auto scroller, or not auto scroller, auto runner in a way. You're constantly moving back and forth, and you jump your car on platforms and paint all of the road, which are just like your classic little Mario Bros. Things. The jumping is kind of weird. You have two types of jump, and you have to load up for the bigger jump. It's kind of unresponsive, honestly.
Ew. Okay.
Yeah, it's not ideal. And when you're turning, you have a bit of turning lag, too, and you can't jump out of it. You have to avoid cop cars, and cats, and spikes.
I try to avoid cop cars every day, so that's the one thing here that I can relate with.
You don't avoid the cats, though.
The cats avoid me, honestly. I don't
try to
really have to
avoid
do
cats.
anything about that. There you go.
But I don't know. It's kind of just generic, stinky kind of NES arcade game, basically.
It honestly, the whole concept sounds very much like a typical arcade game, just nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah. From what I looked up, because I was curious, because it seems so kind of weird. The Japanese version makes more sense and has an actual story, and also has a female main character.
Okay.
But I don't know. I wouldn't particularly recommend this. Not that good, but it only took 23 minutes to beat. Although I did use the warp they have to skip a level or two.
Sure, that's fair game.
Yeah. And then the second one, which I just beat like 10 minutes ago, is another one that's like, you don't beat it. It's like a little 3-minute arcade game. It's an itch game called Mimi's Delivery Dash, which I believe was in one of the previous Itchmasses.
Definitely nominated. Yeah. I'm not sure if it won. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know that I definitely played it because it was in some. I don't know if it was nominated or won.
All right.
I wanna play it.
Well, I would recommend it. It's literally 3 minutes. So I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but one of my favorite movies is Kiki's Delivery Service, which is a really beautiful, really good. Let's go.
Yes.
Studio Ghibli movie. This is basically just an arcade game that's like a little 3-minute slice of flying around, delivering stuff on a broom, crows attack you, Kiki's Delivery Service art style. And honestly, I've pretty much told you everything about the game in that. It's very simple, small itch game. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's very cute pixel art style. There's obviously like almost no substance to it, for what it's worth. You kind of just, not only do you do the same thing, but since like who's asking for what to be delivered is so randomized, and there's not much of a HUD or anything, to an extent, it feels like your score is kind of just reliant on if you're close to the people asking for stuff, basically. You know, it's like a solid enough time. I enjoyed it more than City Connection for sure, but it's
it sounds
pretty
more coherent as well.
Wow.
It's true. It is shocking, but that's kind of just, it is what it is. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but there's just not much to it. If you want to just spend 3 minutes playing it, it's a cute time.
A good morning of gaming.
Pretty much.
Excellent.
It turns out the gaming droughts topic was well timed for me.
Yeah. I wonder why we picked it.
I can't imagine.
Leah, could you tell me why we picked the gaming drought theme? What have you been playing?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so my boyfriend and I played through It Takes Two, which is the second of the Haze Light game. Probably the most popular. I know Split Fiction is their new one, and I know I've been playing that one lately, but I bought this ages ago, like at least 3 or 4 years ago for us to play, and then we never did. And I played it with like a streamer friend a few years ago on his stream. And I was like, I know that, we've been trying to find like more co-op games to play between me and my boyfriend. So I downloaded this, and since he hasn't been playing Assassin's Creed, he wanted so badly to play this, and we haven't been playing it. So I was like, you know what? Since you don't want to play, I'm going to play this game, and you have to play with. So we went through. It was good, but I'm starting to realize it highlights basically like couples who play video games. If you have two different kinds of genres that you're into, it's going to take you a very long time to get through stuff like this, because like co-op games tend to be mostly like platformy, and my boyfriend is more like, he plays chess and strategy games and stuff. So like I'm jumping ahead and I know what I'm doing because like this is all I play.
Right.
And he's just like, I can't get past this 1 second. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just wait here for you, But like, there's no way to really have like co-op games that like cater to like genres that I guess there's like RTSs that we play that, kind of cater more to
right
style of gaming. It was just kind of funny where it was just like, this is going to take us a while because you have to do some platforming to get here. So
the much needed chess platformer needs to come out.
Yeah.
There are some, actually. I know some, but
I'm sure there are.
we had the same experience, and I played it with a friend. It was also I'm more versed in the platforming genre, but that's not at all the kind of game that they usually like to play. So they seriously struggled through some of the jump and run sections, and we like generally we both enjoyed this game. We the only thing we kind of wished, which I feel like also would make quite a lot of sense in a game like this, just have an ability where you could pick up the other character and carry them for a bit, like Donkey Kong Country style or whatever. Like it would not break the game at all. It would just help out exactly with this problem that you described. And I kind of hope that this just becomes a thing at some point in these co-op games.
I believe the new Super Mario Bros. Games and maybe 3D World also let you pick people up like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta get to those.
So I guess the Nintendo platformers got it anyway.
Nintendo knows enough to cater to the children,
to babies.
Where you've got your
True.
your 4-year-old, your 4-year-old brother or sister just being like, hold the controller. So
it's like how they have like the little 2-player mode in Odyssey and the new Donkey Kong game, which is definitely for like a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it definitely needed something where it was like, okay, this one person made it, you've died 3 different times. Like, I'm gonna just push this button and like zoom you over to me, carry you with me.
That would be great, yeah. But cool game.
So yeah, that was the one thing that
goodness gracious.
Now to the only guy who actually came in here ready.
Yeah, I've actually done the work.
We don't work, we game.
We work hard, we game hard, and whatever they put on t-shirts these days. Yeah, I played a bunch of stuff. One of which I honestly, I have to apologize. My formal apology right here. One of these games I was supposed to mention in the last episode and I just forgot. I played a release called The House of the Dead Remake. Again, like before the last episode, I didn't put it on the notes. But here we are. And all I have to say about this one is that it does its job, and it's good, and I wouldn't mind more, but that's really it. House of the Dead is a genre of light gun shooters originally, right? That's pretty infamous for that. My entrance to this, as I have mentioned on previous episodes, was the pinball Game Boy Advance offshoot, Pinball of the Dead. And honestly, my original intention was to play House of the Dead 2, which is the one that Pinball of the Dead is actually based on in terms of, I don't know, story and environments and characters and whatever. Right. But the House of the Dead 2 remake, or like any kind of PC, easily accessible PC release, didn't exist yet. It might have come out actually by now, like in a recent couple of weeks. I know it is scheduled to release this year by the same people as this one. But for the time being, I just went for the alternative and played the original House of the Dead, the remake by this random company that bought the rights to it. And it's a functional, from what I can tell, a functional remake. I didn't have any like technical problems or whatever. It did its job. I think like hardcore fans have their problems with it as usual. But I don't know. I had a good time. I played one playthrough without much problems. It has multiple different kinds of playthrough options for like different game rules or difficulties. So seems like a decent package for replayability or whatever. But yeah, that's just that. I'm excited for the second one so I can finally understand the story of Pinball of the Dead.
Yeah, sounds like a good time. Have you ever heard the voice acting in House of the Dead 2?
Only the snippets from the pinball game, probably.
Well, they're very funny bad. It's really like
I believe that. Yeah, I'm that might have been like even with House of the Dead 1 here. I wouldn't be surprised if that might have been like a popular complaint, because I don't think the voice lines in this remake are the originals. They are probably re-recorded, and I bet people didn't like that. But whatever.
Probably, yeah.
Gameplay is fine. Yeah.
But it's very funny if you ever get a chance to listen to it.
Yeah. Seems like a very corny franchise in general, so that checks
Definitely.
out. A bigger thing that I've played, well, I mentioned this the last time already because it just came out, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4. And I have finished it. I played through the entire campaign to the point of credit roll and a nice fun little bail montage where you get to see a bunch of skaters fall on their faces, as is tradition. Very nice, very good. I think, like I said last time, I get the criticisms or the controversy about this one with the levels that were taken from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, which were completely revamped in their structure to facilitate the classic 2-minute run time structure, which was not originally the structure of THPS 4. And I think I also already said that for my taste, as somebody who has never played the original THPS 4 and who honestly prefers the 2-minute runtimer stuff, I was fine with it. I enjoyed the game as what it was. I had a good time. I enjoyed clearing the regular goals and then later the pro goals that you unlock and then getting all the best medals in the competitions until you like properly beat the first playthrough. But what I didn't think, I thought always, because THPS 4 was the game that I have not played, and it always seemed like such a strange one. I might have said this before. I always thought like this remake might be just a way that I would be playing this, and then that's that. What I've learned though is that there's definitely still very much reason for me to at some point go back and play the original THPS4 just to play it in its original full strange glory. And I actually I don't know, I'm kind of happy with this. I enjoyed this version. I'm also looking forward to playing the old version. I'm not really bitter about this, what this remake did, like a lot of other people. And I think my expectations generally were just confirmed that this is just gonna be another solid skating game on the same level as the previous game. Not much built on top of that, but also not really anything taken away from that. Just a good, solid time. You know what to expect, and that's it. I had a good time. I'm probably gonna replay it with other skaters in the future, but yeah. I was gonna say I have my fill for now, but I guess that's a lie because after clearing that one, I actually played another skating game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, the very original first one, specifically on the PlayStation, I've always been kind of curious about. My history with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater started at the second game, THPS 2, and THPS 3. Those two were the ones that I spent the most time with. THPS 1 always seemed strange and also not something I really wanted to play. But after playing the remake, I kind of got curious again about it, and it is really strange how good of a showcase the original Tony Hawk's game is for a franchise that completely changed just by the addition of one single gameplay feature. In pretty much the entirety of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, it's a crucial feature to string along trick combos using the manual on flat ground,
Right.
the manual trick. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 is basically the only game that does not have a manual at all in its roster. So the core concept of stringing along combos this way is just not, doesn't exist with this original game, which changes pretty much the entire way you go through the levels and achieve the high scores and whatever. I've always said nobody in their right mind would ever recommend Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 to anybody because literally even with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, there was already such huge like improvement in every way that there's literally no reason other than historic curiosity or some sort of nostalgia to go back to number one. Like it was an interesting experience to go back out of that curiosity, even though the game is not very good. I thought with the lack of a manual to string along these combos, there would be a bigger emphasis on the actual vert skating, so the actual skating in half pipes, in pools,
right,
which is much less important in modern Tony Hawk's games, where you usually do the street style skating, where you grind and jump and whatever, flip over objects, a lot more time spent on flat ground, etc. Because the vert tricks you cannot as well string along into combos. I thought in this first game the vert tricks would have a bigger meaning, and I guess they do give more points. What I might find more interesting though is that truly finding spots on the map where you can grind on an object and then jump onto another object became basically the main objective throughout the entire playthrough, like that specific thing. You were hunting for the rare points in the maps where you could actually
connections, yeah,
where you could find these connections, because now you have so much less options for that. You don't have the manual anymore. You have to use the grinds to string along combos, but finding the spots where that's possible is hard. Add to that a really clunky like handling of the character that they also clearly smoothed out very quickly after the first game, and it was honestly kind of a struggle to beat some of the levels with their scores and collectible goals. I think it took me like an hour to get through 80% of the levels, and then the last 2 or 3 levels took double that time, just because all of a sudden the scores were too high and the limited moveset was just such a problem. Dude, I have a gripe with this because I looked up the instruction manual for the special trick button inputs, because the game itself does not have those, unfortunately. And the instruction manual only tells you one special trick for each skater, which is very limiting, and it sucked. And I wish there were more, as I was expecting from other games. Turns out, after I beat the game, I found out that every skater does have at least 3 special tricks. The game just never the game nor the instruction manual tells you ever how to do them. I guess you're just like
Gotta figure
supposed
them
to
out.
guess them. Yeah, it was very annoying because that would have made the playthrough much easier. But I didn't even try to push random buttons, I don't think, because I didn't think the game would lie to me like that. Anyway.
This is actually the only Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game I've played, funny enough. Because I played on the Nintendo 64. I had it when I was a kid.
Oh, God.
Actually, I remember it actually being pretty fun, but I could never unlock the last level. Never
Yeah,
got it. Never managed it.
Doesn't surprise me. The problem also is one of the later levels is infamously like the most hated level in all of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater because
Is
it's
it the
1-1.
snow one?
No, the only snow one, I think you're thinking of Canada and THPS 3, which is a
No,
fantastic
alright.
level.
I'm thinking of a different game then.
In Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, there is Burnside. I think it's called. It's a 1-to-1 recreation of a real skate park, and it doesn't work in the game though, which was just clearly not thought about,
Designed
and
for it.
so it just sucks to hunt high scores in that one, and everybody hates it. Everybody fucking hates it, and that's like very late in the game, so that might be a roadblock for a couple people as well.
Yeah, I think it's like the second to last one. Looking at it really
Yeah.
quick, I was thinking of Downhill Jam.
The level or the game? The
The
level, I guess.
level. Yeah. That was the one that messed me up when I was younger.
The Downhill Jam is awesome in other games, but in the original, in the first one, I had a lot of struggles with that one as well. It's really tough to get some of the goals done in there. It's much easier, much better flow in the later games.
I can see it.
It was enough skater bullshit. Let me move on to my last beaten game, which is called Magic: The Gathering: Duels of the Planeswalkers. But there are like 6 games with that title. This is the release from 2009, 2010. Xbox got it in 2009. I played the PC version that came out in 2010. This game doesn't exist anymore. It's a delisted release, which was supposed to be one of those like seasonal competitive releases for the trading card game Magic: The Gathering, which was succeeded by, I think, 5 later annual releases of the same name for people to play competitive Magic on. And of course, each time the new one came out, the one before got delisted, is not available anymore, doesn't exist.
Kinda.
Yeah. And this one is kind of the first one of those. And I remember I bought this when I was still in high school. And played. I don't think I've ever played a single game online, but it also has some single player stuff. It has a little campaign where you play against NPCs, and a really nifty puzzle mode where you get just thrown into an already halfway played game and have to find out how to win from this exact situation, which is really cool. I love that shit. But yeah, I just randomly remembered I had this in my Steam library from way back in the day, and I never actually beat the single player stuff. And because I had a random knack for Magic: The Gathering, I just decided to boot up this ancient, forgotten release out of the depths of the Steam library and actually just continued the single player stuff from where I left off more than 10 years ago, which was kind of fun. I would love to play the other delisted sequel releases just for the single player stuff. But yeah, it's super tricky to even find a playable version of a playable version somewhere. I think I found one of them, like the 2012 release or whatever, that somebody cracked open and modded to be playable. So I have that in my backlog, but I think the others might just be genuinely lost to time, unless somebody who has this in their Steam library, like, extracts it and mods it or whatever.
Well, I don't know if there's any way to make it so you can play it, but I have played and beaten the Magic 2014 version of this. which is
Damn.
a single player exclusive. I don't think there's. If I recall, there's no online. I could be wrong.
That would be wild. I can't imagine a single player only Magic the Gathering.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong,
I would doubt that.
but it was.
But yeah, that.
It was.
Yeah.
The one I played at least was pretty fun. You know, pretty solid. It's obviously it's a limited format because it's only for the core set kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
that
you
was
know,
actually. Sorry.
all I was gonna say is that makes it, since the game is meant to be like an introductory kind of game for new people to kind of get into Magic, it makes sense to do a limited format, so you don't
Right.
have to learn thousands of cards.
Yeah.
I remember the 2014 version had a, like, the single player tutorial or whatever does have a story mode that I believe actually
Yeah.
did have an effect on the game, like the Magic the Gathering card game story.
The card game story.
The Magic has like a really long, very in-depth story.
Lore?
It's more like 2,000 different stories in one.
No, they have like published books and
There
stuff.
are, yeah, right. But even there's like each set of cards is basically its own story, so its own world, its own story.
Kinda.
Yeah.
No, there's
know what I
like
mean.
like they've had like entire connected stories for like multiple sets and stuff that follow each
Right,
other.
that's
kind of
true.
thing. But anyway, what were you saying before?
Well, yeah, because of the limited card variety in this game as well, this 2010 version that I played. Well, for one, it kind of I thought at first it was kind of a disappointment. You see the same cards again and again because they, I guess, just put whatever card set was actually current right now into this game and nothing else, which makes sense for a competitive game that was only meant to be a limited release anyway. And I was also disappointed that the deck building is incredibly minimal. You can't actually, in this release, create a deck from scratch. You can only slightly adjust the pre-made ones, which is a bummer. But it was actually really cool and surprising to me how many of those cards I recognized from real life play back in the day. Because
Nice.
this 2010, around that time, maybe like 1-2 years later, is exactly the time frame where I kind of stopped playing Magic. So these are like the last cards that I played with and saw as they happened, as they came out. It was actually, just for nostalgia's sake, kind of a fun snapshot of that time of the franchise, which added a lot for me.
That
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
that's
Just as an
all. Yeah.
aside, what they do is back then they'd have what's called a core set that would have a lot of cards in it, and then the expansions would kind of go with it. The Duels of the Planeswalkers always had the core set, which is like 250 cards.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So that's how they kind of do that. Also, as an
Yeah, there you
aside, if
go.
you ever want to play some Magic, we could play sometime.
I would genuinely be down for that. We definitely have to talk about that off mic and see how we can do that. 100%.
Yeah, I know
Hell yeah.
easy ways to do it, so I'll contact you after.
Hell yeah. Yes.
There we go.
For now, we need to mill our decks to the graveyard because we're going to the retired section.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's dead also.
Yeah. I have one
Sure.
sentence that I can throw in there, but yeah, it seems like nobody really retired or paused something truly. I can throw in here Ragnarok, the drumming VR game I mentioned a while ago. The only reason why I stopped playing it for now, it's paused, is because we're in the middle of summer and it's just way too hot
Oh
to
God,
carry a
relatable.
VR visor on your face. Yeah, it's it's the only reason why I haven't continued playing it. So there we go. That's my paused game for this episode. That's it.
Dude, I just gotta say, man, the weather here is so hot, dude. Like, we're getting low.
Yeah.
Like, the low on Thursday is 88.
Fuck that shit, dude.
Yeah. Like,
I'm glad when we're out of the season, as always.
Oh. So true.
Well, let's speed on to what we're actually playing right now. And I'm not gonna talk for a while. you two go.
I think it would make sense for Leah to start because mine is so short.
Okay. I'm going to start with Jumanji Wild Adventure, which is, I guess it's a sequel to the first Jumanji game, but the first Jumanji game, well, the remake movies and not the board game. This is a video game about the video game Jumanji, but it's the sequel, so I guess it's the sequel movie, but it's the same characters from the first game. But the first game was a co-op game only, so I couldn't actually play. I bought it to play it on my own, and I couldn't actually play it because it was just kind of like a battle royale sort of thing. And I was just like, well, I can't really play if there's no bots or other people to play with. So I was just like, all right, well, whatever.
The classic Jumanji battle royale, I guess.
Yeah.
I forgot what the story was. I remember I bought it and it was like a cheap throwaway shovelware one that I was like, oh, sure, I can play this for, 2 hours in the morning before my day starts. And I was like, I can't actually play this on my own.
But
this one you can. This one has a story, and this one is a little bit more enjoyable, even though it's still kind of basically aimed at kids. So it's like the difficulty level is like astoundingly easy. It was like, find all the things, and I'm like, they're right there. But there's a lot of little collectibles that you gotta get through, and like I really only played with the Jack Black character, but they all have like their own powers that you can unlock and use. So I guess you could like swap out, like if somebody doesn't have a certain thing for a level, you can swap out and use their special attack or whatever. I think I played like the first 3 levels or so. It's like, oh, it's pretty good. It's decent enough that I won't retire it immediately. We'll see how far I go with that. Which set off this entire section of Switch games that I'm about to talk about. Every time that I start up my Switch, Tetris 99 is like right there because every time I open it, it's right there. So I play it again. So then I'm like, oh yeah, this is here. So I play Tetris 99 for like a few rounds of like they have like little daily challenges. So I always like to try to do daily challenges on there. I usually only get like 2 of them done because some of them are like, do 4 Tetrises in a marathon run. And I'm like, bro, like at the point of doing marathon is to get through the marathon, not to do a specific amount of like scoring or whatever. Just get through it and then be done with it. Or like it'll be like, oh, do 3 T-spins while you're doing like a CPU battle royale thing. And I'm like, bro, I'm trying not to die. I'm not looking for how many T-spins did I do. So yeah, so I play that for a few. Opened up a few more, like they have like little themes, so you can like theme the daily challenges give you tickets, and with the tickets you can buy different themes. You can change the Zelda to Mario to I don't know Xenoblades or Xenoblades or whatever. So for the longest I've had the Animal Crossing one, and I just changed it to the Game Boy. And there's also little badges you can unlock. So I was trying to do a few of those. I think I unlocked like 2 of them, and then that was the end of my session. Then I bought Broforce because that was on sale. And this game, I had seen the trailer a while ago, and the trailer is not the gameplay. It's just like an animated. And I was like, oh, this looks amazing graphics for this game. And then I looked up what the gameplay looked like, and I was like, that does not look like this game at all. This is like false advertisement. I'll never play this again. No. And then, then I saw that it was on discount. So I was like, oh, you know what? For, like $1 or whatever, sure, I'll play it for like a little bit. And this game is so enjoyable. I have had the most fun just playing through and just like smashing through. I think it's the difference between, because during the day I'm playing Plague Tale Requiem, which is, we'll get to my frustrations with that later. So like just to have Broforce at night where everything is destructible, you're shooting everybody, there's explosions everywhere, and it's just like complete chaos. And I was like, this is the difference between like cozy games and my cozy game. Like this is a cozy game to me.
Sure. A brosy game.
Complete chaos, and it's campy and fun, where it's just like, yeah, it's kind of annoying that I die one shot, but
you'll be back.
Literally, you can just find your own way around the levels and not have to go straight across, and it brings me back to like the Contra days and the NES days, and also just being sort of open world where like I just tunnel underneath all the bad guys and just come up the other side. I'm like, I won. I didn't even have to deal with any of those guys. So I don't even know. Like you unlock your different characters by finding the prisoners and unlocking the prisoners, and then you just randomly get somebody new. But you can't switch between them at any one point. And MacGyver and the Chuck Norris character are the most useless characters I have ever found in any game, because MacGyver only has explosives and he only can chuck them across. So all the other bad guys are shooting at you with guns and projectiles, and all I can do is just yeet a dynamite at them and hope it explodes before their bullet gets to me. And again, you die with like one shot. So it's like, I don't make it before their bullet gets to me, he's dead. And then I have to play somebody else. Some of them are like overpowered. Like there's Agent J from Men in Black, and he's got like noisy cricket that like blasts you back.
Oh yeah,
5 feet or whatever, but like explode in front of you. So you're like, just make sure that you don't shoot anybody in front of like a chasm because you're gonna die.
Right.
But yeah, and also Chuck Norris, he just doesn't have a second ability that's used. Sort of also the Predator character, like you have to like get his
Does Chuck Norris just do a roundhouse kick? Is that his thing, maybe?
No, he does. He has a gun, but it's very slow compared to like all the other ones. So I'm just like, bro, by the time this bullet gets over there, they shot me like 10 times.
That's kind of disappointing. It feels like Chuck Norris should be like some kind of weird ass melee character.
Yeah.
I think that they were kind of afeared of making him overpowered, so they just underpowered him.
I mean, it's Chuck Norris. It's fine if he's a bit overpowered. That's the joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish there was a way, if you have the amount of lives, you could just switch between the different characters. Because there's certain points where I'm like, I would prefer if I had Blade right now, or why don't I have 3D Harry right now? And like, just be able to like use their different abilities and be a lot easier than just being like, well, I'm gonna just chuck myself off the mountain and hope I get a better character. Yeah, that's been enjoyable to play.
I played it a long time ago. I don't even remember how the character switch happened there. But it seems also, since I've played this, they expanded like everything by 80%. It's crazy. I need to replay that one as well. And
then Power Wash Simulator, Wallace and Gromit DLC. It went on sale, so I bought it finally. What is happening? that broad has a lot to say today. It's like you're still stuck in the Jumanji jungle, honestly. Yeah,
I mean, the bird seems like it's got more than me to say today.
Yeah, Power Wash Simulator. I just did the first 2 levels of the Wallace and Gromit. Fun. Again, I have no interest in playing the career mode, so probably making it hard for me because I only have like the basic tools available and not anything else that you can upgrade during the career mode. But for the first level, you're like cleaning the interior of their house, and I couldn't find the stepladder until like halfway through, and I was like, how am I supposed to get to the top of this room without? So I was just like parkouring over like everything else in the room to try it, and I was doing fine, and then I was like, oh, there's the step.
No stepladder percent speedrun.
Yeah. And then I did the second level, which was the outside of their house, which I've watched all. I haven't seen the most recent Wallace and Gromit movie, but I've seen all the like shorts. I saw the first movie, and I had forgotten that I knew so much about their house. Like, as I was doing the yard, I was like, I didn't think Wallace had the money like this to have like this nice looking yard. But then towards the end, there's a part where I had like 3 things left, and I was like, these aren't in this yard at all. I have cleaned everything. Where are these things? And I realized there was like a secret contraption that you're supposed to like flip, and like I was like, oh, that's totally from one of the movies. I do remember that existed. So I was like, I have seen this in the movies. I just forgot that he had like this nice yard. But in my mind, he just lived in like a townhouse, and that was it. Like he had no backyard whatsoever. But I was like, no, he does actually have. Okay. So we'll see how I don't even know how many levels there are, but I know that the Shrek and the SpongeBob ones were longer than I expected.
Jesus Christ.
So hopefully there's at least 4 or 5 more levels, or I'm done with this and then uninstall it again until they add another DLC, which I don't think will happen because I think Power Wash Simulator 2 is coming out.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see if I have to deal with buying that game just to get the DLC.
Oh my God. Those birds are upset. I think they heard what Ninja Gaiden did to birds, so I understand why they're upset, but that's for later.
Yeah. Oh, then I played a bunch of demos. I have so many demos that I just download them just because I'm like, oh, these are free. I want to play this game. I don't have the money for this, but I have the money for a demo, so I'm going to play it. And I download them, but I never actually get around to them. There's like 10 of them on my hard drive right now. So I decided to get through a few of them. The first one I played was Squeakross, which is basically Picross, but you're a mouse and you have to decorate your house by completing the Picross puzzles. And then you get like you get them the stove, their little table, their bed and stuff. If I'm going to play a demo, I at least try to make it to the end of the demo because it's just the demo. It's not the full game. So like you could at least make it through the demo. But after like 3 pages of like trying to fill this mouse's house, I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't care this much about Picross games to begin with. Like
the poor mouse.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I was like, now they've like personalized it. Now I'm like, I left him without a stove. Like, I want to go back and finish it. Give him a stove at least.
At least give him a stove.
Yeah.
He's gonna starve.
Well, he's got some cheese. He just doesn't have how to cook cheese. He likes fried cheese.
Can't do a fondue, unfortunately.
No grilled cheese for this mouse.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I played the Holy Gosh Darn, which is basically, I didn't realize, I had seen somebody play it before, but I guess I wasn't paying full attention to it because this is a time loop game and I hate time loop games. So I played as much as I could.
It's going great.
Yeah. I played as much as I could. And then I was like, I don't care. The little universe of the game seems cool. The story seems fun. But I was like, I don't care enough for me to play this. I will watch somebody else play this and then enjoy their version of it.
A true streamer game.
I'm saving money because there's things coming off of my wish list either way. So
yeah.
And then Until Then, which I didn't even get far enough to really understand what the story was. This looked cool, but it's like a visual novel sort of a game. And the speed of the text was good enough for me that I wasn't getting bored with waiting for them to get to the next scene. But there was a lot of like repetitive tasks to do. Just getting him out of the house to go to school. It's like, it's supposed to be, I guess they're high schoolers and he had a project to do. Getting him up, getting him dressed, getting him to school. And then they have to do like a project in the library before the class starts. Like halfway through the library, I was like, I don't care about your life anymore. So I got rid of that game.
I do not want to ever do a high school project ever again in my life.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really care about high schoolers in general nowadays. So I don't really care to relive either in Asia, in Europe, or whatever. Like, this isn't, unless there's some other layer to their thing, like, it's in a fantasy world, there's like demons or something. If it's just, I love slice of life anime, but as games, I don't, you need to give me something other than just real life. So that was that. And then Fix This House, which I had played ages ago. And I'm still playing the demo. It's taken me a very long time. I think there's like 17 puzzles to getting through. But like I play them every once in a while. I'm like, oh yeah, I should uninstall it and just buy the full game. But I'm like, no, but I'm still working on the demo. Like once I finish the demo, then I can buy the full game. But yeah, that one's an adorable little puzzler where basically you build houses. They just give you the box of the houses and you just have to figure out, how the house fits together and figure out where the roofs go and all that stuff. So like sometimes they'll give you little clues, like the house, there'll be like a little door. So clearly that goes on the first floor. Some of them, will only have windows on 2 sides of the house. So that's clearly like supposed to be like towards the back. Some of them have like windows on either side. So you're like, okay, that's the middle of the house because the walls that don't have windows are going to be covered by other blocks. So it's a fun little cozy puzzler that I pop into every now and then. That one's a good one. So that one may graduate.
I want to play that one as well when it actually comes out because it's still not actually fully out.
Oh, so there you go. I will play this demo very slowly then over the next year until it comes out.
That's wild.
Yeah. So that's it for the game demos that I've played so far.
You gotta hear how the rats are doing.
The rats are having the time of their life, whereas I am not.
Hell yes. That doesn't matter.
The giant rat that makes all the rules must be here.
Yeah. But yeah, this game I have already decided I'm not going to. I've met the character that apparently is in the prequel or whatever the next game in the series. I don't care about them. I don't care about the characters in this game. And the characters that were annoying me in the first game and then left, and I was like, oh good, I don't have to deal with you now. No, they're back now. So everything about this game is like just grinding on my nerves. But I keep coming back to when I found the first game, the Plague Tale Innocence game, it was because I had just finished playing The Last of Us. And I was like, I want games like this. It didn't necessarily have to be like female protagonist or whatever, but I was like, I want kind of like survival RPGs sort of things where it's like, it doesn't have to be a horror, but like something where I do like a little bit of crafting. I don't need to do like, I hate crafting mechanics in games, but like if you're gonna, have me collect little things like it's Resident Evil, fine. It'll be nice to have like a little bit of that. And just to have like different weapons, sneak around a bit around enemies and stuff. I was like, that's the genre that I want. Where is that, thing? So literally every list that I looked at was giving me Plague Tale, which it's fine. It's true. That is exactly what it is. It's Last of Us in the medieval ages or whatever. Historical Last of Us. But there's
one
a
day
lot
Last of Us might become historic.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
But there's like certain little things. The combat is better in this one. Like there's so many different like weapon projectiles to have. Whereas the first game you kind of had like projectiles and you also had like your spells that you were using. Because they're like alchemy spells.
Oh.
Spells.
Yeah, it's not really like spell. Like they do like her mother is an alchemist, so like she meets in the first game she meets Lucas and he's like a teenage alchemist or whatever. So he's like, oh, you can craft fire. You can craft smoke that will put out fire. You can craft this thing that will like expand the fire for you. And it's basically just like throw chemicals at something and it'll, do something. But like, they're just like, you learned the new spell. And I'm like, this is it's just Tinder. Like you throw it and it makes fire. Like
it's the anarchist's cookbook, the game.
Yeah. But it's all like these, like they give you like these, like, I even forgot what the name, but like extinguish is like, but they spell it like Latin-y, so it looks like all fantasy or whatever. And I'm like, it's just like a pile of flour that you throw at a fire. So like spark a fire, it's like infernus or something like that. Or it's just like, they all have like these weird names to it, but I'm just like, okay, this is the stinky bomb that you throw so the rats can run over there. There's the...
I can do that magic spell.
Yeah. Basically, in this one, it's the fire. You can start a fire, you can put out a fire, you can expand the fire with tar, and then the last one is odorous. Yeah, and like that one is like you throw something and all the rats like get attracted to the scent and they go over there, so you can like walk past the rats.
Dope.
So, but like basically all the same spells are back from the first, but they. And I feel, well, I'm also playing it on like dumb easy mode. So like I'm finding a lot of the spells you don't use as much as the first game. Like I remember like getting stuck in the first game a lot where it was like, why can't I find materials or whatever? And now every time I come across a box in this one to like open it up and I'm like, I haven't used any of these. I used like 2 things. So then I end up just like crafting a bunch of the spells just to have them there, then take what I can from the box, but I'm still not like taking all the resources that I'm finding when I find them. There is a new mechanic in this game that's really fun with the rats that has like changed how I'm enjoying this second half of the game.
New rat mechanic dropped. I love that.
Yeah,
sorry.
New rat mechanic is great. I was kind of hoping that this second part of the game was going to be how the game started. Like a lot of times when you get sequels like this, it's like you get through the first game And then at the very end, you get like this super awesome thing, and you're like, wow, I wish I had this the whole game. So then when you get the sequel game, you're like, oh, clearly you're gonna start with this power or this character, and you're gonna be like, yes, now they have to like find a way to make it harder for you now that you have like this overpowered, character or whatever. And like I kind of assumed that that's what was gonna happen with this because Amicia is by herself at first, and I was like, oh, okay, so now it's gonna be like, what can she do without the other characters that are helping you in the first? And then she meets everybody again. So I don't know why we're doing this first game again, but now we've gotten to the part where it's more of a fun game to play, except for the stealth areas are the entire like last 2 chapters that I've played, and they are the worst chapters because they like if you get spotted, it's over for you. Like you don't even have like most of the time if I play a stealth mission, like if they see me, I'm just gonna book it for whatever I can do, like get away from them and whatever. But the way it works in this one is like if you're spotted, it's like a game over and then you have to restart the section or whatever. And it's so annoying because I'm like, if you gave me the chance, I could make it out of here and just like, be able to get away from them before I think there was at least 1 section or 2 sections in the first one where they would find me and I was like, okay, just run and just like spam the open the door button until I get there and then like get through and be like, they didn't catch me, done. But you can't do that in this one. So like there was a lot of sections in the last 2 chapters where I was really worth it. Is it worth it being this frustrated? I don't even like this game anymore. Why am I here? So, but
I feel that.
Yeah. So like I got that this morning and so now things are a little bit better and now I'm starting to figure out how to use the new rat mechanic a little bit better and enjoying that more. As much as I can't stand the character of Hugo, like he's so little kid trope. Like this is a child who essentially has blood cancer. He's dying. He's got like all these like issues with him. And then they're like, oh, we have to go in the water. And he's like, I'm afraid of the water. I'm like, brother, you are dying. You can deal with water.
It's
like
kids.
Like I understand, but they don't know how to write him properly either. Because like there'll be parts where he's like, I don't like the water. I'm like, we were just drowning 2 sections ago. But now you're afraid. And then he's like, it's scary. It's dark in there. And I'm like, we've been running through the night this entire last 3 chapters.
Right.
How are you afraid of the dark in this cave where there's no rats? But then like 2 seconds later, he'll be like, my mind doesn't feel like my own. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're 6. What the hell?
I get that.
And he's just like, I don't feel like myself, Amicia. Like, I don't understand why. Like, and I'm just like, I don't think, I mean, you can say that like, oh, you don't feel well at 6, but I don't think that you have the capabilities at 6 to be like, my mind is separate from my body now. I was just like, what are you talking about?
Maybe the kid is gifted. Maybe it's
well, he's gifted in some things, but and that's not even a joke. It's part of the game.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So like, it's just kind of like uneven writing when it comes to him, where it's just like either he's going to be a tiny child or he's going to be like this super powerful person that's helping us out. Like pick one or the other. And it was cool in the first game because the first game, it was basically just a ragtag, a bunch of teenagers. Like they didn't have any of the parents around. It was like they meet like some scrappy, twins or whatever, brother and sister pair. And they're like, one is a stealth person, one knows how to do bombs. And you're like, okay, this is great. And like, it's just like the Sandlot in medieval France or whatever, where it's just like a bunch of like kids running around doing things and like trying to like save themselves, So there's one part in the first game where like they find like a castle sort of thing, and that's just where they all live for the time being, like their respite in between and I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is like you have like a tree house that's a castle, There's just like a whole bunch of kids just like running around like living together, and I was like, that's awesome.
Gotta put a no girls loud sign in front of it. It's
yeah. But then in this one, it's like everyone that's helping us is adults, and it's like, okay, that's great that we have adults around. Because the first game, I was just like, this is kind of dangerous to be doing all of this as just kids. But now this one is just the adults that are helping, which is helpful because they're adults and they have bigger strength than a bunch of tiny kids. But at the same time, it's like it kind of loses the flavor of just being like kids against the world, kids against rats. But yeah, I'm almost done with it, so I'm gonna stick with it. But I just know that like there's certain parts that I'm just like that annoyed me in the first one that are still present in this one, and probably will continue on the next one. So I'm not even gonna chance dealing with the next one. But I did get what I wanted out of these games, which was again having a Last of Us like experience. So that was good. I just wish that I cared more about the story. Like I talked many times about how like I love the story of Last of Us, and I think that there's a lot of emotion behind it. Whereas I think changing that in this one to like a sister's love versus like a father's love is like two different things, and it's not as powerful. Where it's just like, yes, like she's your sister, but you can only do so much. She's not meant to protect you in the way that like a father or your mother would. It's kind of like almost putting too much on her to like give her this storyline of like trying to save her brother or whatever. It's a good game, other than the stupid mechanics here and there. But
yeah, he is hoping to less stealth sections, I guess.
Seems like it.
Yeah, I just need more rats in my games.
Same. Yeah.
Always need more rats. When's the rat podcast? All rat games.
Gonna do a brand change. How long to rat?
Long to rat.
Shit.
You heard a long cat. We got long rat.
Finally.
Anyway, should I go then?
Yeah, I think so.
The first is, as usual, I am still playing Wordle. The streak has continued. 805. I finished today's Wordle during the podcast once again.
As is tradition, yeah.
I got it in 5, and I think it'll be one that Matt will enjoy if he deigns himself to look at it.
Well, shit, now I have to do it.
That's right, you have to. Legally, and then you can talk about it on the next segment.
Oh god.
But, really, I'm not going to talk necessarily quite as much as I could about this, but what I've spent most of my video gaming time, kind of, since the last podcast, is on Tabletop Simulator, actually, which I've put 89 hours into since the last time that we had this podcast.
Wow.
So I don't know if anybody has heard of a random board game called, board game hybrid, rather, called HeroScape. It's just like an interesting, I don't know what you would call it, because I actually don't know a lot about board game terminology when I actually start to say stuff. But kind of like an army board game with card game, basically. That's how I would put it. I'm not playing that, though. I'm playing a fan version that is all about fan-created cards for it, called Superscape or C3G, which I've been joining and putting stuff into. And that's just kind of been, I'm interested in this. I'm going to spend a bunch of time doing it this month kind of thing. So that's kind of been where a lot of my time has gone, rather than just video games. I just got to say real quick, on the webcam, I can see Matt really focused on the Wordle.
Yeah, how did you know?
But it's been pretty fun. I've already got a card that should be put into the whole thing pretty soon. There's about 1,000 of the things that this group has made. They've been together for 16 years or something. When it comes to Tabletop Simulator itself as a program, so as a video game, I gotta say, it's really convenient and that's pretty modular, but it kind of also sucks ass, is how I would put it.
That sounds about right, yeah.
It's really convenient. It's nice you can do so much with it. The physics, because they gotta include physics in their Tabletop Simulator, are kind of weird, and it loads really slowly, and it kind of has some other finicky stuff to it, basically. But it's the only game in town! So.
It's all you need, really, yeah.
That's all you need. I don't know how much else I have to say, though.
Dog, I haven't done my Wordle yet. You have to talk. I can't figure this out.
I gotta give Matt his Wordle time. How's he gonna think while talking?
Shit.
Oh no, it must be really game to him from that. But
I'm almost there.
sure. But I've kind of, because I got introduced to this by a friend who kind of put in, like, hey, I've been part of this project for years. I know there's some people who like this kind of thing. Anyone want to join me for a game? I'm like, sure, let's play a game. It was like a little multiplayer one. And I was like, oh, this seems pretty neat. And you can just join and work stuff. I mean, as I've said multiple times, I've been part of a Smash Bros. Moveset making competition for like 13 years. So, like, this is my jam kind of thing. I spent probably 6 years making fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Ignoring the fact I still make them now, but I mean, like, you know what I mean, for like an actual program that you would put in, and there was a whole group of people and stuff like that. But
What? This Wordle is nonsense. How you got it in 5? You said.
I got 5. I was
I have-
one away after 4.
I have 3 letters, and I still don't know what the fuck it is. What is this? What?
It did take me a little bit. I was at round 3.
I'm not even sure if I know this word, to be honest.
You probably do. I'll say that much.
Okay, cool. I might have to come back to this. But yeah, still on the board game simulator. Honestly, a tabletop simulator. Yeah, I've played around with that as well. It is kind of awesome that you can just with the Steam. You have official board games that you can buy as DLCs to play in there, but you can also just go into the Steam workshop, and people have made basically every board game that you could think of to download and play in that environment. If you can, like you said, if you can get with the somewhat wonky controls of the system, it is a massive, like, powerful platform to digitally play whatever board game you want with other people.
Right.
It is awesome.
It's massively powerful and awesome. It's just sometimes it also sucks out.
yeah, it's absolutely right. Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Okay. Well, I have not solved this Wordle, but I guess we can't stall any longer. I have to talk about
You can think about it as you go through your games. Maybe one will give you an epiphany.
Just stare at it.
I think that's gotta happen, to be honest. No, I don't think so. Well, okay, so what have I been playing? First and foremost, the usual ones that I don't really have anything to add. Still have my weekly ritual to play with my co-op friend. First, a round of Mills in the release called Backgammon plus Checkers plus Mills. And then some more in that horror co-op game, Murky Divers. We keep going on that loop, that in-game loop.
Hey, Mills is
stuff.
probably on Tabletop Simulator too.
Oh, it 100% is. I think I actually made my friends play it on there with me before we settled for this more streamlined release.
Yeah, makes sense.
Another game that I started is a mobile, and keeping in the spirit of Mills, I downloaded another mobile game that is literally just Mills. I was looking for a proper app where I could play Mills against randos in, I don't know, competitive, maybe ranked matches or whatever. And there is one really good one. It seems really clean and streamlined and polished, but that one has a subscription fee. And it's insane to me to pay a subscription fee to play Mills online. So I quickly uninstalled that shit.
You really like Mills, but there's a limit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it wasn't that cheap either. I think it was like close to $10 a month or whatever. Like for Mills.
$10 a month for online Mills.
It's fucked up.
What's next? $10 a month for online Monopoly?
That is a crime, but probably exists. What I actually settled to download is an app called Align It, which gives you Mills to play online against randos, but it also has a sort of single-player campaign where you play against AI, and I've just been kind of casually playing through that stuff. Not anything special to tell about that. So, moving on to more interesting things. July was a great month for releases. It started with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, and it ended with Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Both games I was massively hyped for. I beat the Tony Hawk game, and now I'm deep into Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which was the long-awaited return of the Ninja Gaiden franchise to the actual 2D platformer roots. For the past 30 years or so, the only Ninja Gaiden games that came out were the 3D hack and slash games, which I don't care much for. So when they announced Ninja Gaiden Ragebound as a true and accurate, or whatever you want to call it, revival of the platforming version of Ninja Gaiden, I was insanely hyped. I've talked about the NES Ninja Gaiden games before on here. I love those to death. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, I'm maybe like 2/3 of the way through the campaign, and it is insanely clear to me that it's a very, very passionately crafted thing with lots of genuine references to the old NES games. I was surprised how many enemy types I was actually able to recognize from those old NES games. I thought they would be like so far removed that it would all just be purely original stuff. But it is generally like a cool mix of taking from the classic games, but like reimagining them and upgrading them with like slightly different movesets or whatever, so they fit into this modern game. Very smooth, snappy platforming as you would want from this kind of game. It totally makes for a lot of challenging platforming. What I was unfortunately already expecting, though, judging from like a trailer or whatever of this game, while it is back in the 2D platforming realm, it does still take a couple of bits of inspiration from those hack and slash games, I would say. Your combat moveset is greatly expanded, even so much so that there's an item shop where you can unlock and buy like different moves and whatever. There is a true emphasis on slashing through whole hordes of enemies more so than in the original game, which works, and I understand the appeal, but personally, I'm almost exclusively interested in Ninja Gaiden for the platforming stuff, and sometimes it depends on level to level. Sometimes the hordes of enemies are kind of distracting from the platforming to me, which I don't care much for. But it's still like crafted and polished well enough that I still appreciate it. And some of the levels, especially a bunch of the optional challenge levels that you unlock, seem to me to be like more platform focused. In my like, I feel they are like more platform focused than a lot of the regular levels, and give me that NES more of that NES Ninja Gaiden feel that I want. So I can't really complain. It's there. It's just not the entire game. Boss fights still suck though. That's a personal thing, of course. I've talked at length on the How Long to Beat Discord, and I believe also on this podcast, that the only thing I never liked about the Ninja Gaiden NES games were the boss fights. They suck ass. That's just a cup of tea thing, because I don't like boss fights in a platforming game. I don't care about those. Technically, they are good, especially here in this new release. They are very well made boss fights where you have to learn the movesets of your enemy and the sequences and then just react accordingly. It's good stuff. It's just not something I care about. So I'm always glad when I'm done with the boss fight, I can go back to the platforming. That has not changed between NES Ninja Gaiden and modern Ninja Gaiden. I love, though, that this game is clearly made for replayability with collectibles and optional challenges in each level. And the item shop doesn't just have items that help you, that improve your abilities. You can consciously buy items that reduce your abilities, that make you weaker or take away some of your features or whatever, to make it harder to go through those levels, in exchange for like a better score rating at the end, if that is something you care about. So it gives you the options to make the game harder for you, which is fun and clearly like made for those hardcore speedrunners and whatever, if they wanna fuck with that. Not me, but I love to see those ideas in there. It's a great game. Like I can not truly complain about it. I'm so happy we got back more 2D Ninja Gaiden, official 2D Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, in terms of games releases, July was fantastic for me. That is that. Here's another game that I forgot to mention in the last episode, which is unfortunate because I actually had stuff to say about it. I'm still grinding through Need for Speed ProStreet. I've been on this for, I think, 3 months now. And looking at the average beat time on how long to beat on the website, I'm like 3 times past the average beat time or whatever at this point. And I finally kind of understood why. I finally figured it out with the help of previous co-host Abatage, Josh, from the last season of the podcast. He joined me in watching some of my gameplay when I was streaming on Twitch, and we figured out that I was playing on the hardest difficulty the whole time without realizing it. And I'm kind of pissed about that because I wouldn't have chosen that if I realized that was the case. In the very beginning, it lets you choose between 3 game modes, but it only describes those 3 game modes by having more or no assist abilities.
So it sounds like it's just that shit. And then it turns out
like one mode would have like brake assists and steering assists and whatever. And I did not want any of that. So I chose the game mode that has 0 assists. What it doesn't explain, what it didn't tell me, is that it also affects like NPC difficulty, like the AI strength and whatever, and some of the score goals and whatever. It does never tell you that is also increased. And so the whole time I just thought I sucked ass at this game, which is probably also still true. But it's also just because genuinely the game is the other drivers are just like on fucking drugs or whatever. On yeah, there you go.
Why would they tie the difficulties like that?
Yeah, it's annoying. It's weird. That aside, the game does rule. I've previously said that I played this as a teenager when it came out and didn't care for it because I guess it was the first time the Need for Speed franchise wanted to do legal racing instead of the edgy illegal street racing, which at the time was probably something that I found lame. So I'd never finished it as a kid, but I'm glad I revisited it now because nowadays that's way more what I'm into, having less rogue cars in your way and that sort of stuff. So in that sense, I'm enjoying the game. And also now that I'm way further through the game, way more in the game, there's also more environmental variety, which I have criticized in the beginning because it all starts in like drab desert environments and everything is ugly and boring and shitty. But later on, to my positive surprise, you race across like the German Autobahn, which was fun as fuck, with like actual city signs and like whatever, like German street signs and whatever. It's just I don't see that much in racing games, so that was fun for me as a German. You also get to like Tokyo shipyards where you drive among those containers and like a bunch of other track varieties, and all of those tracks have their own like flow. It really made up for the early couple of hours with the boring ass desert. I can totally see how the beginning desert shit was probably also part why younger me never continued far into the game. It's such a bummer that that's how the game starts. It's such a bad first welcome. Until I revisited this game, I honestly always thought the entire game is like on abandoned highway desert streets or whatever. I had no idea I could race across a fictional German Autobahn. It's dope. Right. I still love the progression system where you have different event types that you can pick and choose from according to your strengths. You have like an event day with like a regular race, a drift race, a drag race. They all play different. They all use different cars. And you don't have to beat all of them unless you want extra money. You can just pick and choose which to compete in until you have enough points to move on. I love that sort of progression system in a racing game, especially since some of those event types are fucking ass. Like, the drag races are just incredibly repetitive. You can play them with one hand because you of course you only drive in a straight line, and the entire challenge is to shift gear at the right moment. It's a reaction-based challenge, I guess. But every race is the same thing. It is incredibly lame after a while. So I started to avoid them a lot of the times. And even worse are wheelie competitions where you need a car that needs to do a wheelie with the front wheels in the air as long as possible. I avoided them 100%. I didn't even buy a vehicle that could do a wheelie because I did not care about that stupid thing. And it seemed like a waste of money to get a car that could even compete. So I love that I had the options to play through the entire thing without ever having to do one of those. It's a big plus in a racing game for me. But it all came down now that I'm like very close to the end. I am literally at the final gauntlet of events with like the plot based final boss driver that I have like 1v1 duels with. And those have been frustrating me so hard. When Leah was talking about the stealth segments in the Plague Red game, I felt that very much because I feel like I have a similar experience with the final stretch of Need for Speed Pro Street.
The connection we all expected between A Plague Tale and Need for
Yeah.
Speed.
Exactly.
Basically the same game.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah. Needs more reds though. You at this point you cannot pick and choose which events you want to do. You just have a list of events to duel with this character on. So I was forced to do one wheelie competition. And first of all, I had to scrounge up, like I had to grind for money to even buy a vehicle that's able to do a wheelie. And then I had to, with that like shitty ass wheelie vehicle, I have to somehow beat the final boss of the game on hard difficulty, which I was still on at that point. And I think I played today, and I think I lost combining the last session of grinding out money and this session of getting that car to do a wheelie proper enough. I think I lost like 4 or 5 hours on that fucking stupid ass challenge.
Jesus.
And it really pissed me off because there was no way around that.
I'm sorry though. The idea of I have to grind money to get a car that can do a wheelie is so
Yes! Yes, exactly. It's so stupid. It pissed me off. It's such a dumb fucking roadblock to have in a racing game, I fear. God, so ironic. And when I finally beat the goddamn wheelie competition and a couple others that were in that bundle of duel events, I thought I was finally done and I was really happy. A couple of those races I was able to win just by crashing that boss driver into rocks and killing him. That was kind of awesome and almost made up for the wheelie situation. But then it was revealed that there's more duel races. I'm not done yet, and I'm still stuck in those final duel races now because there are drift events with crazy high score goals, which is extra painful because drift events in the playthrough so far was one of the least problematic events for me that I was really, really good at. And now there are these fucked up drift events that seem to like expect from you to do some really strange, unrealistic, and awkward like movement with your car, like scraping along the walls of the track and whatever to keep those drifts going for the points. Even like videos I looked up from people that beat these challenges do some strange fucking shit to even get those scores. It seems weird, like the intended way that the track is built to be driven doesn't feel like the right way to win and that sort of thing. It just sucks.
It sounds like this game really got you going at the end.
Yeah. That's what pisses me off, especially because it's a good racing game and I really enjoyed 90% of it. And now here we are at the final fucking leg of the game and it's just so frustrating in so many ways. And I have no like alternative around it anymore. That's what is really bumming me out about this. These drift events where I finally like went back into the difficulty options and put it on easy mode with all the assists turned on. And it is genuinely like I made it through at least one of those drift events. I'm still not done with the whole thing. I still have a couple races to go. But playing that drift event with all the assists on, with the easy mode turned on, was so awkward in itself because now the car is like dragged along by like the hand of God and like some completely unrealistic ways. It's so fucking strange. You only win because the car behaves in a way that wasn't supposed to, it feels. The drifting, especially now with all the assists, you will understand this, Roy, feels a lot like original Ridge Racer, where when you drift, you're basically on rails. That sort of thing is now happening, and I
and then
hate
you like
it.
snap, right?
Yes, it snaps to like a rail on the road. It's so annoying, and I hate that. I need that to win this fucking
It
race
feels
that I cannot
so
avoid.
weird that you can't just choose the difficulty and the assist
Yeah.
separately.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Why can't you just click assist off?
Yeah,
You should
I hate that.
have like a little checklist and like do this success,
Yeah.
not this one, this success.
Which I feel like most racing games, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big problem with this one, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I still have to grind for a couple more races, and then I'm hopefully finally done, unless there reveals another stretch of challenges that I don't know about. I hope not. This game again. It was awesome for most of it, but it is overstaying its welcome, especially since I think I've put like 30 hours into this, and like the average beat time is like 8 or less on how long to beat. Like I've spent so much more time in this game that I should need to. It's kind of killing it, unfortunately. It's killing the enthusiasm for it.
Yeah.
One final positive thing, though, to end on, I guess, somewhat positive. Need for Speed ProStreet has an amazing sense of speed that, like, one that even rivals some of the anti-grav racers that I've played. When you get speed,
You get
the
speed.
game fucking freaks out. Like it gets my heart going sometimes.
Alright, that sounds cool.
Unfortunately, that includes a screen shake effect that you cannot turn off, and that can, I think, even for like accessibility reasons, that can get really grating after a while. Otherwise, great though.
Except for all the parts that suck ass, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a bummer. The game is 90% awesome, then 10% complete ass. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 more games. I'm still playing Pokemon Ultra Moon. I don't really have much to add there. It's kind of hard for me to even gauge how far I am with the story mode. I'm used to having the traditional Pokemon campaign where you have to get 8 gym badges and then beat the Elite Four, and then that's it. Like the classic Pokemon structure. This game, to modernize it or whatever, completely like revamps the story, the plot structure, and you do like certain environmental challenges and shit. Yeah, and it's cool, it's fun, it's new, it's fresh, but I can't really like, my old boomer brain or whatever can't really gauge how far I'm in. It also doesn't help that I'm sleepwalking through the game when it comes to story, which is my bad. Like since I've played so many Pokemon games, I often tend to play them with no sound and casually while I do something else.
Right.
Usually with the old games, that's no problem because I know exactly what's going on anyway. It's a very clear structure and I'm mostly familiar with what's going on.
But not in this
In this game, yeah, I have no idea what's going on when it comes to stories or characters. I'm just going from point to point, battling creatures, and then doing these challenges whenever they tell me to do them. Literally no idea where I'm at in the story overall.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
it's pure vibe.
I'm kind of
powering you through.
I'm kind of learning from this, though. I think the next time I'm actually playing a Pokemon game I haven't played before, I might actually turn on the sound and listen and read. Wild concept.
Experience the story? Nonsense.
To be fair, the story in a Pokemon game has never interested me. So I don't know.
That's fair. Although I think Sun and Moon, along with like Scarlet and Violet, are more story heavy in general.
Yeah, I think so too.
Scarlet and Violet actually has a pretty fun story.
Yeah. Well, here's a bit of a redemption though. Like years ago, I tried to play Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I never finished that.
Yeah.
My only regret from that was that in that game I caught a Wimpod, which is one of my favorite like new air Pokemon. It is based on like a silverfish. It's a really like cute little critter based on a silverfish. Right. I love that thing, and I kind of always regretted never finishing the Pokemon playthrough with that one in my team. Coincidentally, I found one in Pokemon Ultra Moon, which is even, first of all, I didn't know this even existed in this game. Second of all, it apparently only exists in 2 specific spots and not even as a random encounter like a classic random encounter, but actually a thing in the overworld that you have to physically chase. It's like like halfway special encounter thingy. And I managed to get that thing, and I'm really happy to have a second chance now to actually finish a Pokemon adventure with my beloved Wimpod in the team. That makes me happy.
This is actually not this game, but the first time one of the games that introduced Wimpod.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
And funny enough, I guess this is technically a spoiler. Ooh. Actually, probably not, because you've already encountered it. But one of the main bosses uses Wimpod's evolution as like his main guy.
Oh, no, I don't think I've seen that.
Well, there you go. Now you can look forward to that.
There you go. Yeah. I also finally evolved my Redditor, which was a challenge for a while, because in this game, Redditor only evolves at night. And the clock in game, the time in game does go with real world time. With the additional caveat that in Pokemon Ultra Moon, the time zone is switched. So when you have daytime in real life, it is night in the game.
Right.
And it was really tough to evolve Redditor, because in real life daytime, when it is night in the game, I'm at work. I'm not playing games. The only times where I was able to play Pokemon was at real life night, when it was game in the day in the game. So
just sneak it into work, easy.
Yeah. Well, I managed to at some point actually get it done, and now I have a Eradicate.
You could just sneak it in, use a single rare candy for evolution. Yo, boss, just wait a moment.
Just bring your DS and just put it in that arcade cafeteria. And
the arcade room.
And just play it for there.
The weird thing there.
Haunted cabinet.
Well, I'd rather not. Well, the problem has been resolved. I finally have Eradicate now, which is
big chubby cheeks.
Hell yeah! For the one person that cares, my current team is Eradicate, Wimpod, Malamar, Shinotic, Ribombi, and Vullaby. So
I mean, that
make
seems like
notes.
a solid team in terms of appeal.
Yeah, I'm definitely choosing more based on appeal than actually like usefulness or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is what I usually do anyway.
Yeah.
One more game that I have been playing, that I'm still playing, is one that Leah has mentioned in a previous episode. I finally booted up Kind Words 2, because I have been feeling kind of iffy lately, and I felt like it was the perfect time to finally actually boot this up. Since Leah has mentioned this game multiple episodes ago, I believe, and back then I said I'm hyped to actually get into that as well. Sorry?
I said, what does that say about me? Did you say that? I've mentioned it multiple times, and it's the game that you pulled up when you're feeling iffy.
I mean, that's literally what this game is for, in a way. As a reminder, Kind Words is a social letter writing game where the entire focus of the game is writing actual true letters to other actual people, with a big focus on people being able to put out queries for advice, often used for when people have like difficult moments in their life, often serious subjects that they like ask for advice and people answer and write some letters. It's like, I don't want to say gamified, but it's like a digital space for like communal therapy of sorts, in a way. Like, it's really good at that. I loved the first Kind Words, and Kind Words 2 is literally the same game but expanded. It takes away none of the previous features and only adds more, which is cool. Again, Leah has already told about this in a previous thing. I think my favorite new additions are like being able to ask for recommendations at a media shop, which I have used. Ask for like bands of this and this style and whatever, and people have replied with band recommendations that I have liked from that, which was cool. I really like the poetry cafe, where you can put out prompts for poetry and then just get responses on that. Some of the interaction possibilities are kind of weird. Like the forests that I think Leah wasn't a big fan of either. in the forest, people can put out like prompts, and other people can then string along their answers or associations with that. So you get like a chain of replies to that, which I think is a response to something people did in the original Kind Words. People used to randomly send out messages of, my favorite food is spaghetti, add yours, and send the letter to the next person, like these chain letter things. I genuinely believe the developers are literally just giving that a proper space. But it's not like very useful or interesting. I don't know. I don't really care about it. And I don't think people are using it well.
It doesn't get updated that often either. Like I go like months in between checking it out, and when I go back in, I'm like, everything is the same. This was the last one last time, and nobody has added to this chain.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I found it interesting because those chain letters, I feel like, were super common in the original game, but now that there's an actual space, people don't really care anymore. It's interesting. It's curious. But yeah, still, like, Kind Words, I generally just recommend it to anybody that needs like a space for like some sort of advice. It's a great anonymous place to do that. And people don't seem to be abusing it either. People do genuinely reply to heavy stuff with, from my experience, a lot of helpful and empathic like responses. It's a cool platform. It's not really a game, but it's an awesome game.
Yeah, I feel the same. It's kind of interesting and great considering the world lately that this hasn't been taken over by like mean-spirited people.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's still just like a bit of, because I've seen like streamers play this, and you know, it was like, oh come on, like you're gonna invite these communities onto this platform and it's gonna get ruined. But I think I've had maybe 2 experiences in the entire, like between this game and the last one, that were just like, I have to report this. That's not the same as like anything else on the internet, where like I would definitely get more mean-spirited responses at other places. So
yeah,
I guess it's a testament to the mod team, really, that they stay on top of it.
I was wondering about that. Like, it doesn't. I guess it might just be in the background or whatever. It just doesn't seem like there's an active moderation going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe there is. I wonder about that. It just works.
Yeah. Or the community is just on top of things.
Yeah.
Trying to protect.
At least seems like that, yeah. One last addendum that I forgot to mention, like Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, a real quick rewind to that. The first thing that I noticed when I started playing that, the most infamous regular enemy in the NES Ninja Gaiden games probably was the birds. A very basic enemy that kind of homes into your character in a specific way with a huge hitbox. That shit is like infamous in the Ninja Gaiden franchise.
And they put them over pits, don't they, if I remember?
Yeah, especially when they do that. And I was shocked when the birds showed up in like the first level or whatever, like recognizably similar looking, like the original birds, and behaving the same way. But they were, I want to say the Ninja Gaiden birds have been nerfed because they are not nearly as dangerous in this environment. I guess you have you're much more able to just kill them now. So I guess their presence is much weaker just by that regard. It's a bit of a bummer because I love the infamy of the bird danger in the original games. I still hope somewhere in the rest of the game there's gonna be the one spotlight room for the birds where you do get swarmed with them and it's actually dangerous or whatever. And
or maybe the birds will evolve.
And I wouldn't like be too surprised if they do that, because again, the developers seem to be genuinely very well like passionate and like knowledgeable about the original game. So I could see something like that being somewhere down the line. But who knows? I really hope the birds get their moment to shine. They cannot be forgotten in the Ninja Gaiden story. And I'm assuming that's why the birds in Leah's room were so angry, because the Ninja Gaiden birds got nerfed. Sorry.
Definitely.
Well, that's all I've been playing. That's all we've all been playing. I still have beaten the Wordle. I just realized it's still open on my screen. Well,
Well, you can have a moment to go with that because I have to go to the bathroom.
okay, you go to the bath. Let's have a bathroom break, everybody.
While you were talking, I was also playing.
Playing water.
Yeah, I didn't get it in 5, so I had to open an incognito and try again.
I have 3 green letters. I have no idea what this could be. I really hope I get this before Roy comes back. Oh, I think I have it, and that would explain why Roy was like, you are gonna like this word. Yeah, okay. The word is mad. That's awesome. I can't believe I didn't think about that before. God damn. Took me 4 tries now.
I only got it because my game over one was meaty. And then like I just saw like all of them go green. And I was like, wait, I understand what it is now. Hold on. So I was like, no, I have to do this one more time.
I am returned.
Welcome back. While Leah is taming the birds, I have beaten Wordle now. I understand why you thought I would like the name. I have gotten it at 4 now.
Nice, you beat me.
Hell yeah. Oh my god, the bird.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You're the wrong girl. My bad. Okay.
The broad fight over there. Jesus Christ. I'm glad Leah's broads didn't get nerfed at least. They still seem to be strong.
I'd argue they got buffed this podcast.
Hell yeah. Get some true Ninja Gaiden broads.
2 very horny birds and 1 sleepy one.
Oh no! Yeah, that explains a lot then, yeah.
Why don't we just get Ninja Gaiden, but the main characters are birds?
That would be awesome, and I would be all over that.
The ninjas fly at you and you have to avoid them.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. It would be awesome. Now that we have talked about all the games that we've been playing, it is time to talk about the games that we are not playing. It's time to talk about the discussion topic of gaming droughts. Sometimes we like to not play. And it seems like, especially you two have been struck to some degree or another by a drought like this. So I'll let you, I don't know, start with answering the first question of what do you think causes this? How did you find yourself in this position?
What I'd say when it comes to what causes me to have a gaming drought usually is probably about one of 3 or 4 things. By far the most common is just that there's something else that has my attention and I'm just doing a bunch of that. And you only have so much time for hobbies. Yeah. So I take some of the gaming time away and I shuffle it to something else. Writing projects, watching football, any kind of thing, reading a book. Basically just anything like that. Shuffle it some of the time away from games, shuffle it into that. I would say by far that's the most common reason for me to have a gaming drought. That makes sense,
yeah.
Second reason probably would just be really busy real life period, driving around doing stuff, or something's got me kind of stressed out. And while video games sometimes can kind of be a good getaway, also sometimes they're more like actively wanting your attention. And end result is I just end up not doing anything with them.
Yeah, I feel that, yeah.
And I'd probably say, honestly, the third one is sometimes just decision paralysis. I'm like, I have 10 games I want to play, so I'm going to end up not doing anything.
Yeah, let's not play any. Yeah.
And finally, the other reason would be I've just done a lot of gaming. And because of that, I'm a bit burnt out and need to recharge. Which, to an extent, was kind of true this month. When I had the Game Pass thing, where I have the free month a friend gave me that I'll come back to at some point. But, I had 2 or 3 months, I only have limited time. I'm really playing these games. I'm playing Persona 3 Reload, 100 hours, month and a half, then a 40-hour RPG and stuff, and completing other games. And it's you know what? I just need a break. I just need to do something else for a bit, basically. Maybe play some smaller games along the side, but I need to be doing at least a little something else.
I do think it's very important to not force yourself to keep, because I especially when I was younger, I know I sometimes had the urge to finish a game, even if I was in the feeling of having to do something else, wanting to do something else. But it's you don't want to leave it behind and maybe forget about what you did when you actually come back.
Yeah.
But it is important to when you don't feel it, just listen to that feeling and actually move on to something else for a while. It is much healthier and more comfortable for sure.
Pretty much. Like, I'll push through a game if I'm like just enjoying it, but maybe feeling a bit tired. Or like if I know it's like an hour, if I need an hour to finish it, like just do it at that point. But if I'm not enjoying something, or if I'm just really burnt out and there's like 20 hours left or whatever, into the pile of
fuck that.
later you go.
Yeah, what are your typical causes for this stuff?
I agree with most of them. I don't ever get decision paralysis, mostly because while I'm in the middle of a game, if the game is ending, I'm already thinking of what next game I'm going to play and how, I already know which vibe I want. So I'm like, all right, I guess that's going to be the game that I'm playing next. Or whatever hobby it is. What happens for me is, for this most recent gaming drought, it was most real life stuff. We had a lot of people visiting, and I was taking care of the house and taking care of these birds. Got birds that are nesting right now, so getting them all set up and making sure they had all the nutrients they needed for that.
Right.
And just dealing with that. And then also, being that I was in the middle of a Plague Tale, which I wasn't having fun with, is another thing where I'm not having fun. I want to get through that game, but after having such a stressful day or stressful week, I don't want to relax with a stressful game. But I'm like, okay, so I'm going to do other fun things that are more relaxing. And the only reason I got back into it was because of Broforce. So there's that.
Hell yeah.
That's when you need Mills.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mills is gonna bring you back to gaming as well. That's for sure. Exciting Mills.
Yeah, sometimes I will also do a lot of dumb mobile games like those. I'm a really big fan of those water sort games and the screw nut puzzle games that
oh god.
And the bus ones where you have to fill all the people in the bus, and then those, which are the most numbingly boring games. For some reason, it just when I just need to relax, I'm I just push things, and if I fail, I just redo it, and it's fine. There's no big
no big faults,
big consequences.
No
yeah. So
yeah.
But and then eventually it's been 2 weeks, and then it becomes 2 months. My longest gaming drought was the entirety of the PlayStation 3's lifespan.
Right.
Because we
Which
had
is the same for me.
Yeah. But my nephew was living with us at the time, and he was just getting into gaming. So we only had the one PS3 and 3 gamers in the house. So he was generally using it while my dad was working, I was in college, so it was we didn't have time that he had, to play. So he would come home and he was already on the PlayStation. So all right, fine.
Right.
So for all of that, I kind of just missed. So I was able to go back later on, get through them. That again was also just because real life got in the way. I was stressed at school, and then I would come home and be stuck in the middle of BioShock, and I was like, I don't want to do this. Then I would just,
right,
play for 30 minutes and quit.
That does make me think of one thing that I suppose caused one of my droughts, which, funny enough, was during the PS3 kind of generation for me, is because I've been in a situation where I'm very poor and stuff. Sometimes I just can't afford games, and sometimes even if you already have a backlog, you're kind of oh, I'm interested in this or that, and you kind of just drift off and don't end up paying attention to your backlog. And I didn't have a great computer at the time, so running some of the computer games was a struggle, stuff like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, same thing for me. There was a lot of PC games that I wanted to play, but I had a Macintosh, so
right.
How cringe.
I wasn't able to play those games at all. So it was all right.
Yeah, Matt, no chill.
So that was kind of a platform specific drought where I had to catch up later on that, which I guess is a subset of gaming drought. Right now the Switch 2 is out, and I'm there's nothing currently that I'm missing out on, I feel. But
yeah, I don't think so either.
there's Bonanza, that's about it.
After a few years, I'm probably gonna be
yeah. Well, what about you, Matt? What causes your gaming droughts?
I have over the years often like noticed that there's the three main subsections of media consumptions for me, which is reading stuff, watching stuff, and playing stuff. And I've always noticed over the years that two of those are usually active, while the other one is inactive. I don't know.
Makes
That
sense.
just seems how it works for my free time. So usually, if I'm in a gaming drought, it is because I spend more time with watching movies or reading books, or like both.
Right.
I'm honestly surprised because these usually rotate around as time goes by, just naturally. But right now, I'm actually very surprised that it's been a long time since I've been in a gaming drought. It seems like the other two categories are switching up way more for the past
Right.
like 2-3 years, and it's wild. I keep waiting for the next drought. It just doesn't happen.
Well, kind of related to our next point, even, I feel like one thing that kind of helps with drought sometimes is like, because we have this podcast at this point, like 9 months, something like that, 8 months, I want to say, that's kind of a bit of a
10.
driver to want to do video game stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of funny how you mentioned it. When season 2, I guess, ended and they were looking for new hosts, I think that was the last time I was in a gaming drought, and so I didn't like apply for that because I wasn't actually playing much at that time. Uh,
And then
kind
you're
of funny
like, ooh,
coincidence. And now it fits. Now the pieces have fit together, and I'm here.
now the
Unfortunately for
gaming
you.
drought has evolved into a beautiful gaming rainforest.
That's beautiful. Gorgeous words, Roy.
Gaming rain. The better version of chocolate.
Yeah. Shout out Tay Sunday.
Oh god, we sound so old.
The other thing for me is that I've been getting into like arts and crafts also, which like for like
Damn.
Matt said, most of like the media stuff, like if I'm watching, I can listen to an audiobook while I play a video game and then just pause during the cutscenes or whatever. So
True.
I can read and also game at the same time. I can depending on the show, I can watch an episode of like a comedy or something while I'm playing a game, or I can listen to a podcast at the same time. But when it comes to like doing stuff with my hands, crocheting, knitting, stuff like that, like I can't do that and also play a video game. Like since I've been getting into that lately, I've been away from gaming because like my hands to do the crocheting,
Right.
and then I end up just needing something to like look at. Because of The Last
That
of
makes
Us
sense.
season 2, I was watching. I had a month of Max, so I was trying to get through everything on Max for that 1 month that I had it, And so like I was watching a lot more stuff than I was gaming.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't do much with my hands.
I always try to like layer my tasks too. I tend to be like, I don't want to waste time, so let's try and squish as many things as possible into one area.
That is a two-sided sword as well, though. I feel
I think
Not
so.
as much focus.
like I get the drive to try to do as many things that you enjoy at the same time, so to say. But like at some point, at least in my experience, it kind of feels like I'm forcing myself to do many things at a time instead of focusing on something specifically.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be a problem, I feel.
Yeah, I think I've done it well enough where like I know certain things. Like if I'm listening to a book and I'm like, I didn't hear anything that just happened in that chapter, I stop the book and then I'm like, all right, I can't do this while I'm also
Right.
And sometimes there's like
Right.
some games, there's a lot of like dialogue as you're playing the game also, and I'm like, I keep pausing my book because they keep talking in the game and I have to like focus on that. So I'm like, okay, clearly this is like more of a solo thing than I can't always have two things. A lot of times it's like I play a lot of open world games where you're just walking forever to get to the next thing. So like it tends to help a little bit more. Or like puzzle games, there's no dialogue. I'm like, all right, well, I can play those a little easy.
For me, I'd say kind of rarely multitask like gaming and something. I feel like it depends on the thing to an extent. Like I don't like watch a show and play a game or read a book and like play a game because I feel like I never have enough good focus to really understand both. But like I listen to like a podcast and play like a puzzle game or Pokemon or whatever. Or like if I'm doing something with a friend where it's like over the internet, I'll write something on the side, or maybe I'll play like a turn-based game where it's not going to be really affected by tabbing out for a while,
Right. Yeah.
stuff like that. But I find I usually I can't like watch a show and play a game, or like read a book and play a game, or something or listen to a book. You know what I mean? And
Right, yeah.
to me, it kind of reminds me of like there's people like watch a TV show entirely at 2 times speed, and I'm like,
I hate
how? Like,
God.
It
why?
depends. I can do that only if it's like a B movie, something that's like, you know, sci-fi premiere at 3 a.m. and it's like this. I'm not missing anything.
I guess to me, I would just not watch it in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's gonna be on in the background, and I'm not really focusing it on anyway. So, like,
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
I
But
guess. I don't know.
Just I mean, for me, if you don't double the speed, it's in the background twice as long.
That is true.
Fair.
Crazy.
Yeah, there's all these little tips and tricks. I could only do 2 times audiobooks if I'm like driving or I'm like doing errands or whatever. So that way, like I have nothing else that's like really taking over my mind. I can focus
Right.
on how fast the words are.
Right.
But with movies, it's a little harder.
do you have any like memories of specific games that kind of brought you out of a drought, that kind of managed to reinvigorate that enthusiasm?
Maybe not a game, but I would say something that brought me out of a rather long gaming drought. Admittedly, this is really obvious, but also like weird timing. Is like when COVID happened, and I also
Yeah.
happened to get money, and I purchased a Switch. And I mean,
Yeah.
what the fuck else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Arts and
play my
crafts.
Switch.
Yeah.
But I don't know really. I feel honestly this is kind of a weird thing. Maybe I feel like a lot of times when I end a gaming drought, it's like it's one of those days where I've not done anything all day, and I'm like, man, I really don't care what I finish. I just feel like finishing something,
Mm.
and then I'll
Yeah.
play like a 1 hour long random ass platformer. It's like, oh, I finished the game, and then I'll start playing other games because of that kind of thing. So I feel
Yeah, I
like a
could
lot
see
of times
that.
it's not like the memorable games that did that.
Yeah. For me, it was trying to keep like my attention span to game. Like for reading, when I was trying to get back into reading, I was doing a lot of audiobooks and I was doing short stories where tiny little things to get through.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to like deal with like a book or whatever. And for games, I would just be like, nobody is questioning me. I could just quit this game right now and just never return. Like, and I was like, but I do want to get through it. But it just so like what I did was I started on Twitch where I was just like, if people are watching me, I can't just be like, okay, quit the game because like what else am I gonna do? So
Well, you can, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean,
It
nobody
doesn't
was
feel like
watching,
it.
but like at least it was like it did get me back into gaming where it was just like, oh, I now have proof that I played this game for 4 hours today. So you know, a little bit better.
Yeah, theoretical viewers, and that's what mattered.
Yeah. So that was probably the biggest motivation. I have games that I want to like show other people or I want to play on my stream, and that was a little bit more of a push. I used to read a lot of like otaku reviews and like through itch stuff and just like play smaller games, but it was kind of just like, that was 5 minutes, whatever. That didn't really like feel like anything. But it was just like, oh, if I play this on stream and you know I've spent 6 hours, you know, struggling with this one level and then we finally beat it, then it's like, okay, that's a little bit more of a motivator to keep going. So that's really
Right.
what got me back in the last few years of gaming.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, honestly, because now that you mentioned that, I think I have a similar thing. I had a similar thing in the past because I used to be like actively creating content on YouTube with like edited video game shit, and I do think that honestly helped play through games because it became more of a project, but with that added layer of commentary and editing and presentation. And it kind of even if the game itself wasn't that interesting or whatever, the added layer kind of made it more fun and made it more interesting. That probably helped me as well and probably prolonged this lack of gaming drought. Now that I think about it, yeah.
And it probably also just feels like that kind of sense of accomplishment kind of vibe we talked about a moment ago.
Yeah, for sure. Even if you don't beat the game, you got a completed piece of thing that you have made. Yeah.
Honestly, something else that comes to mind, I'm not sure if this is technically ending a gaming drought kind of thing,
Mhm.
but I do feel like it has kept me more consistently invested in playing games on a consistent basis, is how I'd put it. Even if it's not like specifically drought ending. Is probably a few years ago, basically getting on How Long to Beat and backlog.com kind of thing. Putting my backlog there, but also just kind of having a discussion about gaming history. Because there's a lot of systems I obviously didn't get to play, like a lot of PlayStation systems and stuff, a lot of games I was interested in, and now that I got like a computer reasonable enough to play them, stuff like that, I'm like, I should check out things like Ridge Racer or the Metal Gear games I didn't get to play or whatever. And I feel like giving myself some of that sense of history and like, what were some of those PS1 racing games like? What was some of those SNES platformers I didn't get to play, like stuff like that? And just help give me like a focus and something I'm interested in that just, consistent 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. Try out Ridge Racer one day because I'm like, I've always heard Ridge Racer Type 4 is really good. I can play it now, enjoy it, and then play like 4 other Ridge Racer games.
Yeah. These kinds of like rabbit holes to string along or whatever, yeah, they are big help in going from game to game. I feel that, yeah. Yeah, the context to games adds a lot.
I would say, like, the reason I played City Connection and Mimi's Delivery Dash today was because I'm like, man, I've got like nothing on the docket except like the things I always bring. And I don't want to bring nothing to the podcast. It doesn't have to be a lot. I want to just bring something though. And I'm like, what's quick on my backlog? City Connection. Look it up on YouTube. Yeah, this looks like it's something I can play and finish relatively easy. Bam.
If you don't bring at least 5 games to an episode, you will be punished.
Well, unfortunately, I've only got 4.
Oh shit! Well, I gotta get out the whip then.
Oh no, Daddy!
Oh boy. Well, we already kind of talked about other things that we do when we are not gaming. We also kind of already mentioned movies, but I guess it's kind of fitting that we talk about that as well now, and we might as well give a shout out to a recent community event that kind of like started as a sidestep.
Yes.
Right.
Leah, you and fellow How Long to Beat user No One, valuable friend of the podcast, I would say.
Yes.
You have started a new project on the How Long to Beat community to watch some movies. Would you like to give a plug to that? Why we're here?
Yeah. Well, I've noticed that a lot of the best recommendations for movies I get out of this community. So I kind of wanted to do something where either we would recommend each other movies or we would all watch a movie together. No one had suggested something along the lines a while ago of just having a movie club, and then I finally got the motivation to like, all right, let's put together some rules and figure out how we're going to do that. So this was the first month that we had some nominations. It would be great if I knew the full name of the Tetris game.
Tetris.
Ecstasy of Order.
Yes. And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest are the two. There's 2 this month because we had a tie. And since it was kind of a spur of the moment at the end of last month, we just didn't do a tiebreaker, and we're like, we'll just have 2 movies.
I mean, I am always in favor with these Game of the Month things. Just do both on a tie. So
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, and at least it's not like a Game of the Month. Could be a 40-hour game and like a 6-hour game. That, or like each tends to be smaller game. But like movies are going to be maximum, 3-4 hours, and most are not that long, so it's like, if you have to commit to 4 hours in a month, that's a little bit more reasonable to do that.
And if somebody really tries to nominate a 10-hour documentary, it's probably not going to win.
Right.
Probably not, yeah.
Yeah.
As the episode comes out, you probably, dear listener, don't have any time left to watch those movies, but you are able to nominate your own for the next one.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of fun that one of those is the Tetris documentary. So if you are in a gaming drought and don't want a game, you can still watch others play games as a movie. I like that.
That does make me wonder, has Matt seen the documentary? He has to, I assume.
Guess who nominated that shit, dog?
Just because you nominate it doesn't mean you've seen it.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, yeah, I've seen it. It's one of my favorite documentaries of all time.
Awesome.
It's fantastic. It's one that definitely helped like develop this love of Tetris that I have. This was definitely a major element in that. Yeah. So yeah, if you don't feel like gaming, come over. You still got other stuff in the community to talk about and do. we have a lot of variety over there.
It's true.
It's time to launch our new subsection, How Long to Watch.
Hopefully it's always the same time.
It's true. Like, you come for the games and you get like every other media possible.
True.
We've got the book challenge. We've got movie challenges.
We got active music discussion.
Yes.
I don't think they have a communal playlist yet, though.
Yeah, but that's probably mostly because of the streaming service problem.
Yeah.
I think otherwise, people would be down.
Oh, I just use YouTube.
Yeah, sure. I have a collection on How Long to Beat with my favorite soundtracks with linked songs and whatever. People should more of do those.
Maybe send that to me. I don't think I noticed it.
I will gladly send that to you. It's all Tetris.
What was that evil laugh?
It's my Tetris laugh.
I definitely have a Spotify, but I might make a
Yeah, I think we've exhausted this drought subject.
Probably. I was basically just gonna say is I do my Smash Brothers moveset stuff and all that kind of stuff a lot of the time, but that's not really new. Anyway.
Right, yeah.
But next segment.
Yeah. Let's move on to the final segment. Guess the game. Where the aim of the game is to guess the game. And Roy has prepared this one.
That's right, I have. I tried to make sure it was one that just Leah and Matt had, and not Leah, Matt, and Diallo, so that I can save those when Diallo's here.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Did take a bit of digging through.
And currently Leah has 5 points. I have 3. Is that correct? Do I have 3?
You got 1 on the first try once.
It's fucked up.
You got 0 for quite a while.
Currently a 3-way tie.
Yeah, Diallo and me also have 5, but neither of us can get points. So
yeah.
I will say the first round might have to be a bit vague because again it was a bit difficult to actually find a game that really fit the criteria.
Yeah,
fair. Yeah.
First, both of you have completed it. The first one is anonymous. It is 1 hour 26 minutes, and according to them, the game was too easy, but controls are slippery.
Controllers are slippery.
Controls are slippery.
Oh. I'm gonna say Super Mario Brothers on the NES.
1 hour and 20 minutes.
Controls are slippery. Yeah, I have a couple ideas, but I'm gonna stick with Mario.
How long? 1 hour and 27 minutes?
26. This is for just the main completion, no extras or anything.
Yeah.
No coin list challenge. Man, that classic Mario, that wasn't bad, wasn't it? No? It's a bummer they never made a second one.
I don't know. I am going to guess. I say A Link to the Past.
No.
In an hour?
Yeah, 1 hour and a half. Link to the Past. That's a
I'm stuck on the slippery.
Neither one of you got it for the first round. I'll say that.
All right.
The second round, the user was private. The time was 5 hours 28 minutes. And the comment said, Gold GP at every CC.
What? Gold GP?
At every CC.
It's Super Mario Kart. SNES. Have I beaten that?
I checked both of your lists before I did this. So if neither of you beat it, it's on your list.
Yeah, no, if it's on there, it must be right. But why are all these users ashamed to have their names openly?
Yeah. Like all the good comments I could use for the first two are anonymous or private. I'm like, stop hiding from me.
yeah.
The shame of the banana.
Apparently.
Gold on all CCs. Gold on all C. Wait.
Golden GP at every CC. That's what the comments say.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty confident
Yeah.
about this.
I still have to pick something though.
You could always go for a different Mario Kart if there's any you've been.
Except I know Matt hasn't played much else when it comes to Nintendo.
We gotta get him to play some more Mario Kart in the future.
Oh, God.
I mean, you like races?
Yeah, I'll say Mario Kart.
Sorry, which one?
She said 64. Matt has it right.
I actually don't. I have beaten quite a lot of Mario Kart games, but 64 is not one of them, I don't think.
Yeah. But it is Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Which, funny
fuck
enough,
that
gives
game.
Matt 2 points, so we're all at 5.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Come on.
The entire season has led to nothing.
We're all leaders here.
We're all winners today.
It sucks.
Couldn't take the lead. And if you're wondering, the third round was going to be Paw Shadows, who took 20 hours and 25 minutes to 100% it,
Jesus.
and said perfect score in every single GP, did time trials, and played a bit of two-player mode.
No.
That's crazy.
I'm trying.
That sucks, man. That final CC is complete nonsense in that game.
Yeah,
Or the final GP or whatever.
I love those. The one for Switch is nonsense, but up until then, I'm pretty good.
I did not finish Super Mario Kart. I did not enjoy it.
I liked it as a kid. When I revisited it, I mostly hated it.
Yeah,
Mario Kart DS is still my favorite.
Double Dash is still my.
I think for me, it's probably Double Dash or 8.
Ugh, 8.
The thing was,
I'm
Yeah,
out.
the thing
I'm
was,
out when it comes to 8.
it's good, but I do think Double Dash spoke to me a lot more. Double Dash, I wish they brought back the special items.
I actually have Double Dash like on the top of my backlog, near the top of my backlog
Ooh, exciting.
for this year.
We could
Yeah.
do two-player mode.
No, I'm gonna play it all on my own.
But think about it, you can do the 2 seating.
No.
But yeah.
Well, there was an exciting result for this one. I'm winning everything today.
Yeah.
I got the most games. I won Wordle. I won Guess the Game Dog. This is pretty
You
epic,
are
I
Wordle.
might say.
We got an epic
I am Wordle. Goodness gracious. True. I don't want to be the one.
Yeah, I Am Wordle is a good title too.
I refuse to have that be the title. Remove it from the notes right now. Okay. That brings our epic, awesome gamer episode to an end. Feel free to leave comments about gaming droughts or whatever you might want to tell us. Ask us questions. We might answer them live on air.
Give us new hobbies.
Yeah, tell us about new hobbies of yours. Exactly. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Tell us how long your rats are.
Yes, I do want to see your rats if you have any. I want to see pictures, dear listener.
We can show them on stream.
Yes, that would be awesome, honestly. But that's gonna be it for us. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Keep hanging out on the forums and the Discord. We'll see each other around. Goodbye.
Bye.
I can't wait for 2 weeks from now when we don't have anything to say, but we have enough rap photos to get through the podcast anyway.
That honestly, that would be awesome.
We don't have a discussion
my
topic
God.
this week. We're just gonna talk about rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be down.
Rodents.
Yeah, rodents rule, man.
Rowan's rule.